I'd like to call to order the regular meeting on December 11, 2017. Would you please join Council Member Stipp in the Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing for the invocation?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. O Lord, Father of all mercy and God of all comfort, you always go before us and follow after us. Grant that we may rejoice in your gracious presence and understanding that you are continually with us in all the good works we do as we serve our city according to your will. We ask that you protect and guide the men and women serving our community, our state, and our nation. Be with them in all that they do. We thank you for your presence, your power, and your peace. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Council Member. All right, we're going to go to the communication. We have one item. The first item, 4.1, is Babak Umami, Consultation and Training Supervisor with the Arizona Division of Occupational Safety and Health. He will provide an overview of the 3-year Public Entity Partnership Program and discuss the city's progress in the first 6 months. And now you can correct the name that I butchered a moment ago.
I'll even let him correct his own name, Mayor.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're here tonight to talk to you about our 3-year partnership with the ADOSH team. That's Arizona, the Arizona Department of Occupational Safety and Health. We lovingly call them ADOSH.
Would you put that microphone closer to you?
Sure.
Because there's people in the back that need to hear.
So we call them ADOSH, the Arizona Department of Occupational Safety and Health. We started this 3-year partnership in May 21st of this year. The whole program as a whole for the state started 3 years ago, and we were really excited to be the first person to start in the program. Unfortunately, it took us a couple of years to get started, so we ended up not being the first public entity to sign up, but we were the 3rd public entity to sign up. You'll see that there's many more now, but we were kind of leading the way. I think it was the city of Yuma and Graham County that started it. But for our perspective, what we're really wanting to share with you tonight is the progress that we've made just since May until now. Babak's team has come out, and they've been out for several visits, which he'll show you, and he'll talk to you about the progress that we've made. The reason why we're so excited is we all know that our employees are our greatest asset, and the way you show that is by creating a culture of safety and a way in which they can ensure that every single day that what they're doing is done the best it can be, and we create the environment to do that for them. So we're hoping that this partnership, and we know that this partnership will do that for us. It started 3 years ago for public sector, and most of you may know this in the private sector through a Sharper of VPP program, where the highest performing safety programs are through this kind of consultative model. And so public sector just barely got this 3 years ago, and so we're very excited to have it in the city of Goodyear. And now I'll share with you Babak Imami, and this is the director of OSHA's group that takes care of our team on the consultation side.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening, and thank you for having us. And I'm going to start with saying that I started dealing with the city of Goodyear a long time ago, almost 15, 16 years ago, when you guys went for the SHARP program, and you guys become a SHARP status. That means Safety Health Achievement Recognition Program. That's one of the highest honor OSHA giving to the employer when they have a very outstanding safety program. So that went away. Now we are working with the PEP program, Public Entity Program. And that have to do with some of the cities, some of the county, that they want to have a better safety program, and they want to get involved with OSHA and have a partnership with OSHA. And your city signed up for that back in May 11, 2017. As Tim said, the 2 years partnership program. So far, we conducted the 3 visits. We conducted the park and rec and public work. We're coming back in the middle of January. We're going to do the engineering department. So we've been pretty involved. There's a lot of building you guys have spread out to the Goodyear area. So I'm going to hopefully this work. There you go. We have a chairman, Chairman Dale Schultz. He's pretty involved. We are one of the only state, actually, we are the only state in the U.S. have commission, and the commission have a lot of power. And Chairman Schultz is the head of the commission for Industrial Commission of Arizona, and he is very involved with the safety, and he's everywhere. I mean, the picture you're seeing right now, he's giving a presentation for heat stress. You can see it is right in the middle of all those construction. Again, we have different partnership programs. We have partnership with like Home Builder Association. We have SHARP, we have PEP, we have Alliance, we have a VPP. And I think what you guys shooting for the long run is going for the VPP, Volunteer Protection Program. And that's the highest honor that OSHA been given to any employer in Arizona. And there are 44 VPP sites in Arizona, so hopefully you'll be there with the rest of the group. Okay. As far as the public entity, there are 10. City of Peoria just signed a partnership with us. We're working on La Paz County. So you can see a lot of people hearing about this program. They want to get involved with the OSHA, and they want to get become partner with us. So, you know, maybe we can help them to do better in the safety program that they have. You know, all this city, they have the outstanding safety program, but we're trying to change the culture maybe a little bit more, maybe help them to become better safety health management system. So far, we've done total of the 11 visits, 8 safety, 3 industrial hygiene visits. We find 25 serious hazards, and a lot of people say, oh, wow, they find something, so we're not doing good. That's not the case. You know, we go anywhere we find something. I haven't been to one place. I've been with OSHA for over 28 years, and I haven't been to one place that I walk out and say, well, I didn't find anything. And so it's not what we find, it's how you fix it. Do you have management system in place can be able to fix the problem right away instead of saying, now we don't have a budget, we have to wait for the next year budget, you know. That's what we're looking for. Obviously, from all those 25 serious hazards, everything was abated in timely manner, and so that's what we're looking for, okay? And there is a form, they call it Form 33, and that's Safety Health Management System Evaluation. That's how we evaluate your site. The 58 questions have a lot to do with management involvement, employee involvement. Basically, a lot of questions have to do with the culture at the workplace. So when we started, the score was 1.7, and you guys improved to 2.21 in public works. So that's a good improvement. And Park, you went from 1.7, there's a typo there, from 1.7 to 2.29. That's improvement right there. That's what we're looking for, continued improvement, okay? A little bit about the, what it means, you know, the Form 33. Okay, there is 3 scores. 0 means it not exist. 1 means is there, but it's not very good. 2 means is right there, moderate. You need moderate help to improve your safety program. 3 is the highest number we can give. So you can say you right there, you are working toward 3, and that's what we want to be looking for. Talking to staff that I have, that they came here and did the visit on the job site, they saying they pretty much ready to go apply for the VPP. I know Tim probably gonna want to take more time, but that's okay. And we're here to help. Well, that's what we're here. We're trying to help people to get a better safety culture, and hopefully they apply for the VPP program. I know I have 10 minutes. I don't know how many minutes left, but you guys, I'm open to any questions, so you guys have.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Council, any comment on the presentation? Comments? Councilman Hampton?
Yeah, I think safety is very important for the city's culture as a whole. I'm very familiar with the VPP program.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a very good program to help people continue to keep safety in the forefront. I mean, we don't want anybody to be hurt. We want them to all go home the way that they came to work, and so it's definitely a good program. But yeah, it might be something we might want to pursue as an organization, but we should, yeah, just look into it a little bit more as well. So thank you.
Good.
Councilman Stipp?
Yes, thank you very much for the presentation. Tim, I assume we're doing this not just in Public Works and Parks, though.
I'm sorry.
So I'm looking at Mr. Fisher, so.
Go ahead.
So yes, we're headed in January to engineering, streets and traffic, and then we're going to move to fire and PD. Right, it's a 3-year partnership, so we have a little ways to go.
Okay. Are we seeing a correlation between the improved safety ratings and a decrease in employee workers' compensation claims?
Yes, you're starting to see a nice downward trend. Though I didn't talk to you about some of the goals that we have in the program, but we have a 3-year partnership goals, and there are many of them, but one of them has to do with the reduction of injuries, and we have a 35% goal to reduce injuries by 35% at the end of 3 years. So we need to see a downward trend in our injuries, and that's a 35% decrease with an increase of employees. So,
Great. Thank you.
Councilman Pasillo?
No, I just want to add to the other prior two council members. It's real important that we have employees that are working in a safe environment, like Councilmember Hampton mentioned. When they come in to work, we want to make sure they're going home safe as well. So, again, I appreciate all those efforts.
Any other comments? Well, safety is paramount.
Thank you for having us. Have a good
And so
evening.
it definitely is a need. You always think of manufacturing and warehousing and those type of industries about safety, but it's very important for our employees here. So thank you very much for the work you're doing. We're looking forward to seeing the results of some of the other sessions, all right? Thank you. All right, the next item is 4.2. Is Mitchell Allen, Vice President of Business Development, and Maureen Howell, Vice President of Research and Strategy. They're both from the Greater Phoenix Economic Council, which we all hear as GPEC, and they will present their findings on the impact of the recent projects and GPEC's thoughts for Goodyear's future economy. You have the floor. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for having us here tonight. We're really excited to be here to talk about the different ways that different types of projects can impact a community. So to start with, we wanted to talk about what are the benefits, the kind of buckets of benefits that a new business can bring to a community. And it's really generated in two main ways. One is through capital investment. We're talking about investment in buildings and equipment that then produces sales tax revenue, largely from the purchase of equipment or construction, and then property tax revenues. The other big bucket, which is also very important, is jobs. That drives wages, which then produces income tax revenue through state shared revenue systems, consumer spending that generates sales tax revenue, and then property tax revenue from residents that are employed. The way that this impacts the community, you can kind of see a flow chart here. So a company creates jobs in a community. Those jobs provide wages. Employees can spend their wages in the community. Those retailers where those employees are spending wages create more jobs, which then kind of creates this cycle. In addition, a company can purchase from local suppliers, which then enables those suppliers to create more jobs, which then provide wages that work through this cycle. So that in total creates what we talk about when we say direct revenues and indirect revenues from suppliers, and then what's called induced revenues from that consumer spending that's moving through the economy and creating jobs. So different types of businesses have different types of impacts. You'll see here we kind of did a sampling of the four major types of industry that you'll see. So manufacturing, retail, office, and logistics. The wages are different in all of these industries. Typically, you'll see about $65,000 is typical for a manufacturing. They have high capital investment. They create a high number of jobs through supplier purchases and things like that. And then they have induced consumer spending, basically that sales tax revenue that's created from those jobs that are employed at a manufacturing facility being able to spend through the economy. Retail, you'll see a slightly lower wage. Typically, they have low capital investment, a lower rate of direct jobs or indirect jobs being created, but they do have those direct consumer spending, basically sales tax that are coming into that retail establishment when people are purchasing their goods. Then you have office, again, high wages, typically a medium capital investment, just over a one-to-one indirect job production, and then again, induced consumer spending from those employees that are able to spend wages. Finally, logistics, a median wage there, high capital investment, typically a little bit under one-to-one job production ratio, and then those direct consumer spendings through sales tax revenues.
So when looking at some of your most recent locates, and I will note that one of the companies on this list you will be is on the agenda later on this evening. But there's roughly over 1,400 jobs that are being created between these manufacturers and distribution companies, which are bringing in an estimated $5.7 million in direct revenues and $6.2 million in total revenues, which include both direct and indirect. So the more manufacturing, the more distribution, the more base industry that you bring here, the more revenues coming into the community and the more supplier jobs that are being created. Just to kind of give a quick breakdown of a couple of the companies that I just listed, Ball Corporation, which just recently announced is the largest capital investment in Goodyear's history, which is a great win. 63,000 average wage, 130 jobs, and we're showing direct revenues to the community of $1 million in the first year, and then 2.1 over a 5-year period. When you compare that to Chewy, there are several more jobs being created and a lot of great revenue coming to the community. Our models do differ a little bit in some of the inputs, but in general, you're seeing roughly about a $1.4 million in the first year in direct revenue to the community, and a large portion of that is being driven by the sales tax dollars from consumer spending here locally in the state of Arizona.
So just to look at how these, translate into what can come into the community. So together we're looking at $2.4 million from companies like Ball Corporation and Chewy. How do we compare these to projects that have landed elsewhere? So the projected revenues from Ball and Chewy are comparable to estimated revenues from ADP, which was a very large office facility that went into Tempe and created 1,000 jobs. That's expected to be $1.5 million. Kudelski, which is a cybersecurity firm that located in Phoenix and created 225 jobs, which is about $1.2 million. So these are similar to what you're seeing with Ball and Chewy. So looking at what can be done with that kind of revenue coming into Goodyear. For example, the single-year direct revenues could pay for 2 fire trucks and equipment and 2 police officers for a year, 1 softball field, and a pickleball court.
Gotta love pickleball.
So we also wanted to look at, what are some other communities that were really anchored by one strong manufacturer or really strong facility coming in, and how did that kind of shape the growth of that community? So we looked at Chandler, and where they were in 1980 when Intel opened, with a population of roughly 30,000 people. Shortly thereafter, in under 10 years, Microchip Technology is founded with their headquarters. Their population almost triples by that point. You see transportation development happening with the Loop 101 being extended past Pecos Road. At that point, they're almost at 180, so they've added about roughly 150,000 people to Chandler. 2001, you see Chandler Fashion Center opens. That's the very large mall that's still sustaining in Chandler. 2004, Wells Fargo opens first of several buildings along that Price corridor. Population 221, almost 222,000 people. And today in 2016, we see really a clustering effect of high-end manufacturing and office projects in that region. So you have Intel with expansions, Wells Fargo, Orbital, ATK, and Rogers Corporation, which is at HQ, all expanding in that region, and over 250,000 people there as part of that population. So seeing how these kind of investments from key companies can impact the growth of that specific city or town.
So in addition to where else you can invest the revenues being generated beyond fire trucks and pickleball courts, certainly you want to be looking at workforce training, whether that's identifying different skill sets that are needed within the community and identifying students in high school or in college now, or even reskilling your current workforce or retooling them to be prepared for the future. Investing in infrastructure. When communities invest in freeways or in city roads, infrastructure that would allow a smart city to grow and be more efficient, those communities are the ones that continue to win these larger projects because there's less risk. There's that risk mitigation factor where companies can come in quickly and easily, and there's less infrastructure that they're having to build out on their own dime. In addition, you can also invest in startup programs, whether that be through incubators, through innovation hubs, places for small businesses and early stage but high growth companies to call home as they continue to get past that 2 or 3 or 4 year mark. Where they have some more certainty. There's placemaking, recreation centers, water parks. You can maybe do some facade improvements to existing and maybe a little bit tired or older retail centers. You could build out certain parks like Wells Springs. And then incentive programs. You can continue to use some of this money to invest a little bit more into the companies that are looking at coming into your community to maybe break that tie if it's between us and another market like Reno or Salt Lake City or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to continue to grow and continue to be the world-class community that Goodyear is today. That's all we have. Any questions?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be some comments, so let me go. Who would like to speak first? Councilman Vasillo?
Again, I appreciate the presentation. I know our biggest challenge, at least from my perspective, has always been how do we keep pace with the demand for services, fire, police, et cetera. And unfortunately, in this state, most of our revenue, at least locally, comes from sales tax, even though it takes the people to make the purchases to do the sales tax. So I think there has to be a natural blend between high tech, where there's actually significant dollars being paid to the employees, and then the retail, restaurants, et cetera, which drives the revenue that's needed to do the roads, the streets, the police, the fire, et cetera, et cetera. So again, it's all kind of links in together. But that's, to me, is going to be our biggest challenge going forward for the next several years, so that our demand for services doesn't get outpaced by our revenue. So all of this piece helps. And I appreciate the presentation. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Councilman Osborne?
Thank you. Well, this was outstanding. This is great information that I think our citizens will really appreciate and understand. I mean, not only have you broken it down to what this means for the community, but also kind of the Chandler story, the timeline. Being a city that has been growing and growing and growing, it kind of is nice to see what the populations were at the time when some of these things came. Kind of gives an aha moment, I think, to some of us. And so, I love it. I appreciate everything that GPEC's done to help our city land so many of these companies. We have a great economic development department here at the city, but those partnerships that go with GPEC and the Commerce Authority, all that, it's a wonderful collaboration. I thank you.
Thank you.
It's Councilmember Laura Towner.
There's not much more to add to those two comments, but I found it very interesting and a very high level, and I think it really does tell the story of how economic growth happens in a community and how it does what you get from these different economic development opportunities that come, and how, you may say, well, it's a UPS facility or it's manufacturing, but then I think you really do tell the story on how it benefits citizens, and I think that's really good for our citizens to know. Is this something we could post on our website for our citizens to look at? Would that be permissible?
Don't see why not.
Because I think a link, because it does tell the story for people in our community, and I think, as Councilman Osborne said, especially the Chandler story. Sure. Because it does show the population growth where we're at and everything, post-boom, and it's back to a normal growth pattern, what we should expect and how we can get there. So thank you both very much.
Absolutely.
Councilman Hampton?
I'm going to reiterate a little bit, but yeah, so I think definitely a great story. I appreciate you coming out and presenting this. Yeah, definitely a testament to our partnerships and our collaboration and city staff's hard work as well, the planning and engineering and economic development to keep pursuing these and build the foundation for our community to keep growing and growing and growing. So definitely good. And I like the potential investment area too, stuff that I want to hopefully focus on in the future is the workforce, the infrastructure, the startup programs, and just being able to keep us going and moving forward. So yeah, thank you so much for the presentation, and it's definitely a really good story for our community. Thank you.
Anybody on this side? Well, I want to thank you. I've been on that board for a long, long time, I think 2006. So I can really see where we were then and where we are now. So we have had that growth, and it was demonstrated tonight on the presentation, and I really appreciate it. And I just have to say that GPEC is an excellent source for all the cities. You do a great job of bringing the prospects in. You're fair, and it's up to us to have our best suit on that day and be able to have a great presentation in order to acquire these. And I think it shows we have that by that what you demonstrated today. And I agree with Councilman Osborne that it is so true about the public not understanding. And the one thing you said tonight, or you showed, you know, there are some negativity when you say you have a warehouse or a fulfillment center, but you showed on those figures tonight that that is a value to have in your city.
Absolutely.
And there are not only jobs, but you get tax dollars from that helps us grow our city in a positive and a good way. So tonight, I think that was a great one. I think we should all keep that in our files, maybe get a copy of that and have it with us, because that does tell the story. So once more, I appreciate GPEC, and thank you so much for coming for that presentation tonight. I want to get a round of applause because that was a great one. All right, thank you very much. All right, now we're going to go to 4.3, and I'm going to explain this just a little bit. Michelle Laurie, our Economic Development Director, is leaving the city to move to Wisconsin, where her husband has been promoted to a higher position with Sub-Zero. So it's a real loss for us. And for me, I knew Michelle at GPEC. So when I joined GPEC in 2008, or actually I think it was early there, about 2006, you were there. And so it's been a long relationship. So we're going to play a video, and then I'll present the item after that. So if you will play the video now, please.
Well, hello to all my wonderful friends from the great state of Arizona. And of course, we're here to honor Michelle. Michelle, your incredible contributions to the West Valley and Arizona will never be forgotten. You did a great job throughout your career fulfilling the incredible mission of creating jobs for people that need them the most. More importantly, as a great economic developer, you're even a better friend. You're always somebody we could always count on and trust. And I know you don't like to talk about your family legacy, but there's a long history in your family of people doing the right things. And you have more than carried your end of that legacy. And now that you and your husband go on to beautiful, wonderful Wisconsin, and you'll enjoy firsthand what a real chili dog looks like. And of course, you'll now know what it means to be a cheesehead in the truest sense of the word. I know that you'll love Madison. I know that you and your husband will be happy. And I miss you as a friend and a colleague. Everyone in Arizona is going to miss you as a leader, a friend, and a colleague. But more importantly, we just want to say how much we love you, how grateful we are that we've had you in our lives, and how much we know great things are in front of you. You're going to be extremely happy. Wisconsin's gain is Arizona's loss. You'll do wonderful things in Madison, and we know that you'll always have Arizona in your heart. God bless, and good luck.
So Michelle, if you'll come up forward, please. You could always say it the right way. Is that right? All right, Michelle. Whereas Michelle Laurie has led the Goodyear Economic Development Department diligently, thoughtfully, creatively, and with tremendous tact and skill since 2015. Whereas an Arizona native, her education and experience, especially with the city of Goodyear and the Greater Phoenix Economic Council and Westmark, has made the West Valley broader region and a better place to do business. Whereas Michelle's talent, reputation, service, accomplishments have led her to the recognition as one of the Arizona's Business Magazine's 50 most influential women in Arizona business, and as the Greater Phoenix Economic Council Economic Development Team chairperson. Whereas her tenacity, her leadership style, her commitment to Goodyear's success, and I'm slipping on me a little bit. Yes, thank you. And prosperity has resulted in a meaningful progress for our community. Whereas during Michelle's tenure at the city of Goodyear, the city has realized, listen to this, and it was just presented, thousands of new opportunities for the West Valley residents, millions of dollars in capital investment, including the largest capital investment in Goodyear history. And whereas well-known companies like United Parcel Service, Aldi Grocery, Huhtamaki, KPS Global, Ball Corporation, Chew.com have selected Goodyear to locate or expand under your leadership, Michelle. Whereas the City Economic Development Team established and has, under Michelle's leadership has established and branded the city of Goodyear as the premier destination, let's say that again. Years ago, nobody would have said that, a premier destination which to live, play, and do business in the West Valley, and also contribute to the efficiency of the city's development continuum. These projects will bring more, whereas these projects will bring more than $6 million in revenues to the city in the first year of operation. So whereas Michelle's dedication to the city of Goodyear's success has made a lasting impact on our community's history and the future, and her positive attitude, her perseverance, and commitment to excellence will be tremendously missed. Now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Georgia Lohr, Mayor of Goodyear, Arizona, do hereby present Michelle Laurie with this proclamation upon her departure from the city of Goodyear and the state of Arizona for her exceptional leadership, dedication, and true commitment to the community. In witness whereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Goodyear, Arizona, to be affixed this 11th day of December, 2017. Congratulations, you earned this. We have some flowers for you. You better give them to her because I've got them. You have the microphone.
Oh, I do. Okay. Well, I'll be quick. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thank you, City Manager Dahlke. I've really enjoyed the opportunity to work under your leadership, and I've really enjoyed the opportunity to work under your direction. So thank you so much. Mayor and Council, it's been a pleasure. I love the city of Goodyear. It's my home. I'll miss it as my home and my place of employment. So I just be really quick, and thank you very much.
Oh, hey, come back here. We're going to do a photo opportunity. We're not going to miss this. Come on, Council. Oh, we do have the camera. How could I forget? Now is the time for citizens who would like to address the City Council on any non-agenda item within the jurisdiction of the Goodyear City Council. Do we have any cards?
Yes, Mayor.
Would you like to announce them?
Paul Huckins. Is
Paul Huckins here? We received it over the internet system. No? Okay, second one, Vicky Kios. All right, as you come up, I need to read you. The council will listen to your comments, and they may take one of the following actions: respond to the criticism, if there is one, request the staff investigate and report on the matter, request the matter to be scheduled on a future agenda, and each speaker is allowed 3 minutes. The yellow light and the buzzer will let you know you have 30 seconds left to speak. Before you begin, please identify your name clearly, stating for the record name and address. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Vicki Chose. I live at 18002 West Thunderhill Place, Goodyear, Arizona, and that's in the Montecito Division. That's what I'm here to speak about. On November 17th, there was a meeting in our community that informed us of pad changes, and the number is 17210-00007. And our concern with this is that they're planning to build 30 to 40 foot structures and high density homes behind a very low to medium density area, blocking mountain views that we were paid actually quite a bit with view fences, where we were informed. Myself, I have letters that have been submitted to the city council members too, from neighbors, anywhere between 20 yards to 60 yards, that our view fences would be protected, that some were told that nothing could be built behind us. And we're concerned about our property value in an area that is the same as the pad that I'm on, which has 77 homes. They're looking to build, I'm sorry, I lost my number, 177 homes. The parcel is in question 2. It has 2 numbers on it. One is 9.27 A, B, and C, and it's also listed as 9.7. In the entire parcel of 9.7, they're looking to put in 424 homes. We're concerned about the natural washes that are in the area. We've not got any input on how this is going to affect the drainage. Our backyard already floods. Not bad. I mean, it doesn't rain in Arizona that much, you know. But I've had the water standing in our backyard above my ankles. And now they're looking at doing away with the wash and putting in, hopefully, new ones, but we have no information on this. Again, one of the things we're asked most is, well, why didn't you do your due diligence? We did. We talked to the builders. I actually talked to the city at the time, went down and talked to Newland and talked to the developers. We've discovered that the area was initially zoned for commercial, which was going to have us not buy the property. We were then told, oh, don't worry, look here, it's zoned for single family, and nothing can be built here for at least 20 years. I'm sorry, I come from North Dakota. We tend to believe people. Living in Arizona, that's unfortunately gone away. I am not opposed to having condos, townhomes, twin homes, patio homes, whatever the developer likes to call them in this area. What I'm opposed to is 30 to 40 feet tall buildings, high density, blocking our views, bringing down our property value. I think I'm pretty much out of time. Thank you.
There you are. Thank you very much for coming forth. And I think the city manager heard your comments, and so if you can address them at some time with her, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is actually scheduled, it's a PAD amendment, and we're scheduling it for future agenda item currently planned for the latter part of January. So it will be coming back before council. So just want to make sure that it's understood it will be a future agenda item. We'll certainly notify the residents as well.
All right, Councilman Stipp.
Is this matter going to go before P&Z?
Yes, that would be the first part of January. Thank you, Councilmember Stipp. So it'll go through P&Z as well.
So
P&Z Commission.
residents have the opportunity to comment on this.
I am
and
going to bring up, even though it's not, I'm going to bring up our Development Services Director. He has the dates.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to talk about the public process. Since you came all the way, to speak to us, I think it's important that you've got multiple opportunities to speak to this.
Mayor, Council, thank you. Councilmember Stipp, this item is currently scheduled for the January 10th Planning Commission meeting, and then also for the January 22nd council meeting. And they'll both be public hearings, both in front of the Planning Commission and also in front of the council.
Thank you, Frank. Any other questions? Thank you very much coming up. It is always difficult to have to come forth like this, and we appreciate you coming and stating your concerns. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other speaker cards?
Yes, Mayor. Roxanne Fletcher.
You need to come to the microphone and ask the question, please, and identify yourself, please.
My name is Roxanne Fletcher. I live at 15345 South 180th Avenue in Goodyear, Arizona. Actually, Miss Vicki is my neighbor. And we were also told the same thing, and we were also told nobody could build there for 20 years. We were told that when somebody built there, it would be single-family housing. There'd be X amount of space after our wash. We took a chance upon building when the economy was terrible. We could have went out and bought somebody else's house, but we took the chance on building, thinking we were also doing an investment with our money, paid cash for our home. We just put $70,000 in our backyard last year, and now here we sit with a home that could be decreasing in value very rapidly if they go through with this multi-housing or block the view. We paid $8,000 for that view. That's a choice we made. That's a choice we made to come to Arizona, and so this is a difficult situation for many of our neighbors, as we were all in that same predicament at that time when there was no economy for anybody else to build. So it was all outsiders coming to town and bringing money into your economy, and now here we are, part of the economy, and now we feel like, oh, we came and brought this, and now we're looking at losing what we've invested. That's really difficult to swallow. I would like more information. I know we got the dates, the 10th and the 22nd. Would that meeting be held here again? And if so, what time?
Could you address that, please?
Yes, Mayor, and also we will, on your way out, we'll bring you up to speed on the start times for that and the information that will go out with that.
Okay.
Christopher, the P&Z Commission on the 10th starts at 6. That'll start at 6 here.
Okay.
And then also on the 22nd, that will be at 6 o'clock here.
Okay.
With the city council. But other details, we'd be happy to provide those to you.
Okay, so zoning will not take place prior to that?
Correct.
I mean, as far as we'll have input prior to the zoning change? Okay.
There will be public hearings as part of that too, where the
All right.
public has an opportunity to talk to that as well.
Much obliged. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much for coming. All right. I didn't ask a call to the audience. I think I'm going to call. Was there anybody else in the audience that wanted to speak on a non-agenda item? All right, then let's go on. Will the city clerk please read the consent agenda 6.1 and 6.2 by title only, please?
6.1, approve draft minutes from a regular meeting and a special meeting held on November 13, 2017, and a regular meeting held on November 20th, 2017. 6.2, approve the acceptance of a water line easement associated with the development of Lot 5, Beck Property Final Plat, which will contain a new 3-inch water meter vault.
Thank you. Does anyone from the public wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Does anyone in the council wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? And may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I heard a motion by Councilman Hampton, a second by Councilman Stipp. Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Hampton?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, we're going to go on to the business in 7.1. And again, we repeat that refrain from asking questions until the staff presentations are complete, and there's a motion on the table. The next item is to consider approving the appointments to the Arts and the Culture Commission. This is always a pleasure. Arts and Culture Coordinator Guyleen Oslansky will present. Guyleen?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you said, it's always an exciting evening when we're here to appoint new members to our Arts and Culture Commission. The Arts and Culture Commission was formed in 2006 as part of the approved Public and Performing Arts Ordinance. The commission is comprised of 9 voting members, 1 alternate, and 1 ex officio member that's represented by the West Valley Arts Council. Our commissioners serve 3-year terms, and they do have a 2-term limit. We're always very thankful for our residents that come forward and they volunteer their time. They bring their time and their expertise to be able to make recommendations to council on matters of arts and culture in our city. The council subcommittee reviewed 15 applications. They conducted 8 interviews to select 4 members to serve for the vacancies. We have 3 vacant voting member seats and 1 alternate. The subcommittee, the council subcommittee would recommend appointing Paul Evans, Francis Fee, and Elizabeth Glenn as voting members to the Arts and Culture Commission for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2020. I ask those 3 members to please step forward. The council subcommittee would also like to recommend appointing Jennifer Barnes as alternate with her term expiring December 31st of 2021. Jennifer, would you please come forward? At this time, we'd like to invite the city clerk up to come administer the oath of office.
We will have to vote on this first, so let's do that, okay? So I need to get council discussion on this, so I'm going to repeat it one more time so that we can have a motion a second to, number 1, appoint Paul Evans to the Arts and Culture Commission for a 3-year term commencing on January 1st, 2018 and expiring on December 31st, 2020. Number 2, appoint Francis Fee to the Arts Culture Commission for a 3-year term commencing on January 1st, 2018 and expiring on December 31st, 2020. Number 3 is to appoint Elizabeth Glenn to the Arts and Culture Commission for a 3-year term commencing on January 1st, 2018 and expiring on December 31st, 2020. And 4, appoint Jennifer Barnes to the Arts and Culture Commission as an alternate non-voting member with a 4-year term commencing on January 31st, 2018 and expiring on December 31st, 2021. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
I heard a motion from Vice Mayor Campbell and a second from Councilman Hampton. Open for council discussion. Councilman Loretano.
I just want to say thank you very much. It's so great that when we see our citizens step up, and there were so many talented people, and you all are very talented. And I look forward to all the ideas that you're going to bring forward, so thank you.
Any other comments? Councilman Stipp?
I'm just smiling because I'm thrilled that we've got, again, more people stepping forward and the work that you're going to do is going to be very important for those of us non-art. I was going to say those without any culture, but I thought I probably shouldn't say that, but too late. But anyway, thank you so much.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
You left yourself open on that one, but I'll let it go. You're the reason what makes us a great community, and I always harp on our volunteers and the hours they give and the money they save, and whenever we need somebody to step up, the people in our city step up. And again, thank you truly for stepping up, making a difference. Thank you.
Any other comments? Well, I have to make comment. I tell you, we are growing the arts, and thank you, Guyleen, in our city. And you can look around our city and see it happening. You think about the colorful hand-painted flags that we have on all the posts. There's just so many things, and so I'm excited that you want to continue to build our city's art. And as a council, We're going to tell you that we've been really backing this. We have put in more than we've ever done in the beginning of this, and so we're excited. We're excited about maybe new ideas from you and advance some of the ideas that still have not been completed. So you really have a strong position here in Goodyear, and people notice what you do. So Guyleen, again, thank you, and we're going to give them a round of applause before they take their oath. Like a picture with you, so would you like to take the oath? Oh, we didn't vote already. See, I got so carried away. Okay, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, picture time and the oath. Oath first. Oath and then picture time. Yes, I knew you'd catch that.
Repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of Commissioner according to the best of my ability. So I do affirm. Congratulations.
Well, we'll get to that. All right, guys. Now let's move. It's picture time.
So congratulations.
Fran, I'm so excited to see what they're going to do. Yes, that is very cool. It's going to be great. That is very cool.
All right, we're at 7.2, and business is consider adopting Resolution 17-1828 for a job creation agreement for Chewy Inc. So Michelle, Lori, Economic Development Director, is still working, so
Thank you.
who's presenting?
Thank you. I'm very pleased to be here with you tonight to present the job creation agreement for your consideration between the City of Goodyear and Chewy Incorporated. I will be providing a short presentation and will answer any questions you may have at the conclusion, but I wanted to let you know that we have some very special guests here with us this evening. We have Greg Walsh, the VP of Operations of Chewy Inc. We also have Carol Henderson, the company's site selection advisor, who's a senior director at Cushman Wakefield with us. And they have both traveled very far this evening to be with us. So we greatly appreciate it. And I think you're going to say a few words at the, okay, I'll just do the presentation and then we'll be all set. Okay, thank you. So first, let's talk about the company. Chewy Incorporated is an online retailer of pet products headquartered in Florida, which can be found on the internet at chewy.com. PetSmart, an Arizona-based company, recently acquired chewy.com. In looking at their newest fulfillment center, or looking for the location for their newest fulfillment center, Chewy shortlisted sites in Goodyear in April of this year. Other competitive sites were located in places like Nevada. The company made its decision to locate in August. As you might recall, it was reported by the media at that time who discovered the real estate transaction due to real estate transactions being public record when they're recorded at the county. So we have stayed completely silent on this transaction until now, the preference of the company. I'm going to show you the site for Chewy, which is located right there. It's located approximately on 49 acres at the Airport Gateway Industrial Park off of 143rd Avenue, just south of Michael Lewis Company shown on this aerial. Now, to the details of the job creation agreement before you tonight. Chewy Incorporated will create at least 700 jobs with a cumulative average annual wage of at least $26,000. That's without bonuses and overtime, which will pay at least 65% of the position's healthcare premium. They will invest $30 million in capital investment and tenant improvements. And I will note here that the construction of the building will actually be an additional $30 million in capital investment being developed by North Point Development of St. Louis, Missouri. And then leased back to Chewy. So the capital investment for the project is actually $60 million, not 30, but we didn't count that in the, we counted it in the analysis, but it's not in their agreement. So I just wanted to let you know about that. But the third-party analysis that was done was based on those numbers, the $60 million. So it's to create an Arizona end-user internet sales of at least $30 million in 3 years from their certificate of occupancy. Now, since Arizona end-user internet sales may be kind of a new concept, I'll take just a minute to explain it here. Internet fulfillment centers, which operate in Goodyear, except for Amazon, which has special rules that apply to them, generate sales tax dollars for Goodyear when they fulfill orders inside the state of Arizona, regardless of which city the product lands in. So, for example, I happen to be a faithful Chewy customer myself, just placed an order, $100 this weekend. So that order, 2.5% of that order will come back to Goodyear, even though I'm living in a temporary residence in Litchfield Park at this time. So it doesn't matter what city it is, it actually will end up in Goodyear, that 2.5%. So to ensure that we receive, that the city receives at least $750,000 in this type of transaction within 3 years, we've required that the company show at least $30 million in Arizona end-user internet sales within those first 3 years. And I'll explain a little bit about more why we did that in the next slide. So this agreement, Goodyear will do the following. We will waive or reimburse, which is actually a waiver at this point, a maximum of $260,000 in expedited plan review and permit fees. The project has actually already generated more than $600,000 in fees paid to date. So it'll be a reimbursement of $260,000. We are going to be providing, if you so agree tonight, providing a job creation fund of up to $650,000. This fund is offset by the Arizona end user internet sales tax revenue that I just described earlier, which by contract will secure at least $750,000 in that sales tax revenue, so that's a whole $100,000 more. The job creation fund is not a payment, and I'm just going to go over really briefly. If you need details, I'll give you that, but it's lots of math. But the job creation fund is not a payment of $650,000 at one time, but rather a payment each year based on the 4-quarter average of each qualified employment position that is created. In terms of Goodyear's budget and where this payment will come from, we currently have at least $256,000 in the job creation line, job fund creation line. So even if the company hired 1,000 employees in the first year, it would create an impact of approximately $233,000 in the first year. So that is covered. If budgeted funds after that are not available for the job creation fund, the revenue resulting from the impact of the project will be allocated to cost to cover the cost by the finance department. And that would be used to adjust the budget. That funding would be used to adjust the budget if that needs to happen. The third item Goodyear has done for the project is to previously support the activation of a foreign trade zone site by supporting the magnet site previously approved at the location. So what that means is that the site was previously approved for the city for any qualifying user. So should Chewy Inc. Qualify for that, they would then, the city would, has submitted their non-objection letter already for that. So benefits of the project for Goodyear. As we've discussed a bit of the revenue impact, for the project, but I wanted to emphasize that the total, the direct net revenue for the project over 5 years will be $4.1 million. And you'll notice, if you noticed earlier, the GPEC slide had 5.3, and that's because we actually took the incentives out. When we do an agreement, we actually take the incentives. So that's what, if you notice that difference, that was the difference there. And the models are different, but that's the most of the reason there. So that is direct revenue to the city under this agreement. That revenue includes construction sales tax, property tax, sales tax, and other taxing generation. So for the total impact, which includes jobs and spending for those employees and their families, it can be estimated at about more than $667 million over 5 years. So there are other benefits, just in direct and indirect financial benefits for our community for this project. For example, it is important for Goodyear to build its base employment, as we heard from GPEC earlier tonight, which will in turn provide daytime traffic, from which we very much hear from retailers. That is paramount for attracting more brick and mortar stores, which we need, as well as internet fulfillment, which is desired by our residents. So that concludes my presentation for this evening. And Mr. Walsh, thank you for standing there while I did that. I would be glad to answer any questions, or we could turn it over to Mr. Walsh.
All right, Mr. Walsh, would you like to speak this time? You may.
Good evening. My name is Greg Walsh. I'm the VP of HR Operations for Chewy. I did want to take a moment to come and address you, Mayor and council members, and talk about Chewy, as Michelle did. 6 years ago is when Chewy started, 2011, and since that time we have launched 5 fulfillment centers, launching our 6th, which is our first in Florida. This will be our 7th. And the thing that has allowed us to grow is our passion for customer service, and it may sound cliche to talk about customer service, but if you don't know about Chewy, Chewy does amazing things like writing handwritten thank you notes to customers, even though we're as large as we are, having oil paintings of people's pets that they've posted on Facebook, and just doing it because, and sending it to the customers, which really just builds tremendous loyalty. And as people are loyal to their pets, we want to be loyal to our customers, and our customers are loyal to us as well. And we try to bring that culture into our operation, so it is not merely a warehouse operation of 700 people, but it is one where we're all committed to delivering excellent customer service to our customers, the pet parents, and to pets, but also because we have an amazing track record of promoting from within. So there are so many examples of our existing fulfillment centers where we have promoted team members from fulfillment specialists to leads to supervisors. So seeing that growth and progression into leadership roles, that is more than just a job but a career, and that is the opportunity that we're presenting ourselves to the city of Goodyear. And it is really a wonderful opportunity that we're very excited to be here before you this evening and talk about the opportunity of Chewy coming into your community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Walsh, for that information.
Sure.
All right, and so are there any speaker cards? Would anybody like to speak?
No speaker cards, Mayor.
Then will the city clerk please read the resolution 17-1828 by title only, please?
Adopt resolution number 17-1828, approving, authorizing, and directing the city manager to execute a job creation agreement for Chewy, Inc., authorizing city staff to take actions consistent with terms of resolution and agreement, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 17-1828? Do I hear the motion?
So moved.
Second.
Oh.
I heard the motion by, I'm going to say, Councilmember Stiff, and it was second by Councilmember Loretano. Open for council discussion. Councilman Stiff.
Well, certainly I get the first to say welcome, and that's all I'm going to say because everyone else wants to say something too. But, we spent a great deal of time talking about the benefits of the job creation agreement in executive session as we discussed this project coming forward. So there is a tremendous amount of value that this brings to our community. I said it is 700 jobs. So it may not be 700 people who currently are not working that are going to start working, but we are producing 700 jobs for people to be in our community, and that is not that's not something we should take lightly. And I know Chewy does not take that lightly either. So for that, the obvious benefits. This is something that there are very few times when something is a no-brainer, but this is clearly a no-brainer. So thank you very much for choosing Goodyear, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilman Basillo?
There's not too much more to add to that. Again, welcome to the community. And with my background, numbers, finance, et cetera, again, this one is a win-win for both Chewy and Goodyear. So again, I want to thank you for selecting Goodyear as your site.
Vice Mayor?
We're so happy that you're here because we have pets and we go to PetSmart. And we're going to be like Michelle. I don't know that I'm going to order $100 worth of dog food, but I might be close. But thank you so much for picking Goodyear. This is a wonderful city, and we're going to be a great partner with you. Thank you.
Councilmember Loretano?
And I just want to also welcome you. It'll be great to have you here. And I think our citizens got to hear a little bit about what you do. And you know, this isn't just for our citizens. This isn't just a warehouse fulfillment. It's e-commerce. This is where shopping in many cases is going. And so we welcome you here, and I'm sure it'll be a great success. So welcome.
Osborne?
Well, there's not much left to say, but, you know, it's nice to see a face that goes with the company and hearing your heartfelt remarks about how you feel about your employees, and customer service is certainly good news to our ears, and we thank you for choosing Goodyear. You know, I'm glad that you were here this evening to also see that presentation by GPEC, and being able to see that many good companies are joining you, and I think you're going to have a great team of companies that are doing the same thing that you guys are doing, just not your competitors, you know, just the other. So it's good, and I'm glad that the investment's coming here and that our citizens are going to be able to see it, you know, coming into their city. Thank you.
Councilmember Hampton?
Yeah, like everybody else, thank you, and welcome to Goodyear. We're looking forward to working with you and partnering with you and all your employees that are coming, and yeah, it's an exciting time for the company and for the city of Goodyear. So thank you. Look forward to working with you in the future.
Well, as the mayor, I welcome you, and the name Chewy is out there in the public. They know it. It's universal now. But I want to thank you for one thing. I have to say, when you talked about your company, you talked about the culture and how you treat your employees. It's very similar to what we try to do at the city, and then what we try to do with the city employees, but out also to the public. We want a quality of life. And so I think that's admirable. So I thank you very much for that.
If I could just make one last comment, I would love to.
Of course, you can do anything tonight because it's the last night I'm going to see you.
Well, thank you for that. I was very neglectful earlier. I was a little surprised by the video and some of the things, but I wanted, while I had the chance, to just say, you know, this project has been great to work on. It's really that this project and the things that you read earlier are really a result of the entire team. And we've got some of the folks here, Harry Paxton, Darren Mann, Robert Ito in the audience.
Tell them to stand up tonight in the audience. Come on, let's stand up. We're going to give you a round of applause. You deserve it.
You've got a wonderful team here, and also with the development continuum with engineering and planning and zoning and building safety with Rebecca and Christopher. So they're all responsible for making this happen, as well as making, you know, with tight time frames, but also making those things you read earlier happen. So thank you for letting me say that.
Thank you. All right, this will be great. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Osborne?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Hampton?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Campbell?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Well, that's the official welcome. Positive. Thank you very much. All right, 7.3 item on business is to consider approving the preliminary plat for the vistas at Palm Valley. Joe Schmitz, Long Range Planner, will be presenting. Joe?
Mayor and Council, good evening.
Good evening.
As you noted, this is the preliminary plat for the Vistas at Palm Valley subdivision, located at the southwest corner of Litchfield Road and Palm Valley Boulevard. The property has 53.6 acres, and in terms of surrounding land use, it has a golf course and residential to the west, golf course and residential to the north, the golf course clubhouse, and some multifamily to the east, and commercial properties along the southeast border of the property, and as well as to the south of the project. The Vistas at Palm Valley PAD was approved by the council in August. It has two parcels. Parcel A is roughly the north half, and it is zoned for urban residential low density. And the parcel B, roughly the south half, is zoned urban residential medium density. On parcel A is 31.7 acres, and it will have 86 single-family detached homes on lots that are 60 by 120. There are 5 attached single-family units in 1 duplex and 1 triplex building on 30 lots that are 36 to 47 feet wide and 106 feet deep, which is essentially the model complex. The open space buffer along the edge represents about 0.6 acres, and there'll be a total of 91 units on this portion of the property at a density of about 2.77 dwelling units per acre. The lotting plan, you can see, is such that 4 holes of the lakes course, the putting green, the lake, and the restroom that are there now will be removed, and the remaining 14 holes of that course will be reconfigured as a 9-hole championship course. The existing cart path will be relocated and continue through the proposed development. Homes are limited to single-story floor plans along a portion of the west boundary and along Litchfield Road and Palm Valley Boulevard. There's, as I mentioned, 1 duplex and 1 triplex structure in a model home complex at the main entrance off of Palm Valley Boulevard. And there is a quarter-acre tot lot plan near the center of the parcel, and some turf areas that have been added since the last time you saw this project, adjacent to lots 27 through 31. The preliminary plat for parcel B is the area that will have 28 single-family duplex units on 47 by 106 lots, and 78 single-family attached triplex units on lots which will range from 36 to 47 feet wide and 106 feet deep. This parcel also has an open space buffer along the east boundary and the south boundary, which consists of 1.15 acres. The total number of units in this portion will be 106, and will have a density of 5.13 dwelling units per acre. The lotting plan for parcel B will involve removing the golf driving range poles and netting, except for the 3 poles up near the southwest corner of the parcel, which have wireless communication facilities located on them currently. The duplexes will be single-story, and the triplexes will have a 2-story unit in the middle and a single-story unit on each end. The lots along the west boundary and portion of the east boundary have been limited to single-story in response to concerns from the neighbors. A 1/2 acre tot lot and community pool is planned opposite the secondary entrance from Litchfield Road. There are 10-foot wide access ways that are provided at the rear of the lots to provide access to the middle triplex unit. And an additional turf area has been added at the southwest corner of parcel B. Water and sewer service will be provided by Liberty Utilities. The fire department primary response will be from Station 183 at Litchfield Road in Avalon, which has a response range of 2 to 2.96 minutes. Secondary response would be from Station 185 at Pebble Creek Parkway and Clubhouse Drive, and that response time would range from just under 7 minutes to just under 7.5 minutes. Project is located within an existing police department patrol area,
and is on the edge of the territory within the vicinity of a military airport and within the traffic pattern space for Phoenix Goodyear Airport, and standard disclosure statements are being required. Access to the site will be by way of a driveway off of Palm Valley Boulevard. At the north end, it will be a gated community with private streets. As I noted, the golf cart path will be relocated and marked and signed and constructed with alternate paving materials where it crosses the roadway. Second access will be provided via a private driveway on Litchfield Road between Hampton Inn and Romano's Macaroni Grill. And the traffic improvements that are likely to be needed at the intersection of this private driveway and Litchfield Road include a traffic signal with a developer participation set at 16%, restriping of the private driveway, and installation of a right turn decel lane for southbound traffic on Litchfield Road. The project has roughly 13.74 acres of open space, which represents 25.6% of the site. There are 2 tot lots, one in each parcel, with a shade structure and turf play area, and a pool in parcel B. Pedestrian access is provided through the site and to Litchfield Road and Palm Valley Boulevard. As I noted, additional turf play areas have been added in parcels A and B in response to previous comments from the council. The phasing of the project currently is anticipated to be phase 1, which is in the tan area, phase 2 in the pink area. All of the parcels will be graded, but only a portion of each will be fully developed. The improvements along Palm Valley Boulevard and Litchfield Road will be completed in phase 1 and include landscaping and the perimeter theme wall. Likewise, the relocated golf cart path, which basically runs along the south edge of parcel A, will be constructed in phase 1, even though it is shown in phase 2. Utilities will, for phase 1 will be extended through phase 2 so that as needed, in both the main access and secondary accesses will be developed in phase 1. And the recreational amenities, the tot lots, will be also built in phase 1. This item was postponed at the October 23rd City Council meeting at the request of the applicant. They were awaiting a vote to annex the vistas to the Palm Valley Community Center. However, that vote failed. The applicant has now added additional turf areas and a community pool to the project to provide recreational amenities to this development. I will note that the applicant also has reached an agreement with the Agua Fria High School District and the Litchfield Elementary School District and will provide a voluntary school development contribution to both. Lastly, due to a concern regarding the operation of the existing access easement from the project to Litchfield Road, a stipulation number 17 has been added to the recommendation to require additional documentation regarding the operation of this easement be submitted prior to approval of the final plat. The Planning and Zoning Commission had heard this item back in October and recommended approval of the preliminary plat for the vistas at Palm Valley, subject to 16 stipulations, and now which are 17 with the addition of the one I just described, and as all contained in the staff report. And there we go. Okay, that concludes my presentation, and Mr. Eric Montgomery from Meritage Homes is here in the audience and can answer any questions you might have for the applicant.
Thank you. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? Then can I have a motion and a second to approve the preliminary plat for vistas at Palm Valley proposed by Meritage Homes, subdividing 53.6 acres into 86 single-family detached home lots, 111 duplex/triplex single-family attached lots, and 19 tracts located on the vistas at Palm Valley, planned area development at the southwest corner of Palm Valley Boulevard and Litchfield Road, subject to stipulations. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second. I heard a motion by Council Member Stiff and a second by Vice Mayor Campbell. Open for council discussion. If start down here. Councilman Loretano.
Yeah, I like the changes that were made. For members of the public that maybe are just tuning into this, we really kind of vetted this in depth a couple months ago. But I do like the additional, thank you for listening and adding that extra turf. And I think the pool is a nice addition too, and the change in the golf cart path. I think that'll work out very well. So thank you for listening to our concerns.
Councilman Pizzillo?
Can you go back a couple slides where the drawing was?
I'm sorry, which one?
Couple slides. I'll tell you. Keep. Oh, hey, there's probably good enough. The light. You said 16% they're going to kick in towards the light. Is others kicking in for that light as well? Because it seems like, you got the hotel, you've got the restaurants. I guess my question is the city picking up 84% of that light?
Mayor Lord, Councilmember Pizzillo, since those projects have already been developed, it puts us at a disadvantage to collect additional fees from them at this point in time. If we do even if we do a cost recovery resolution for the traffic signal when it's installed, we would only be able to capture from undeveloped properties at the time they built. So it would appear that the city would be responsible for the balance of the signal installation.
That to me is excessive, because without that, we don't need the light there. So now it's going to cost us 86% of the cost of that light, which I assume it's going to be the $500,000 light, right? Because that's one of our main thoroughfares. It's not going to be the ADOT lot light.
Rebecca, would you address this, please?
Yes, Mayor and Councilmember Pizzillo. They are adding their proportionate share, and that's where the 16% came from. If we do not build the signal prior to the other two private properties shown on the map just north of the Montessori School and south of the Montessori School, if they also add their proportionate share to the signal, I'll just give an example, it might be another 16%. But unfortunately, when the Hampton Inn came in, as well as the apartment complex across the street that provides a significant amount of traffic, and then the existing traffic on the arterial of Litchfield Road, those are part of the reason that a signal would be required.
What's going to be the distance between the Palm Valley signal, that signal, and the one at McDowell? It's going to be less than a quarter of a mile, I would assume, right?
It's in between. The one north of it is, I think, 1,500 feet, and it's 1,000 feet to the Litchfield.
Do we have any policies at the city as far as distances between traffic lights?
Not that I can think of right now, but I can certainly look into that for you.
Okay.
And we did discuss this topic when it came before at zoning, and how we would make sure that we were sequencing the lights so that we could ensure that we have good traffic flow.
Question: what's an estimate time when we'd have to expend 500,000? Well, it wouldn't be 500,000; it'd be roughly $400,000 or $380,000 for the cost of that light, which is about 84%. What are we looking at? 2 years? A year? A year and a half? 3 years? Only reason why I'm asking is it's going to be somehow that's going to end up getting on our capital budget. So whatever other lighting that we need throughout the city, we'll be fending for this same light at that point. So, and since it's on Litchfield, it's going to be the $500,000 light as opposed to the $300,000 some odd dollar light. So I'm just kind of curious: are we looking at next budget year, the following year? Any idea?
I apologize, Councilmember Pizzillo. I don't have an anticipation of when it will be warranted, because we wouldn't construct it until it's warranted.
Right.
It's going to be dependent upon how quickly these homes sells. We would do a warrant study to see how many people are exiting at this private access way. So there'd be a number of criteria that I would be looking at in order to let you know.
Okay, I appreciate the answers. Just one other question before you go on there. As far as the tying it into the Palm Valley, the rest of the other Palm Valley Association, I guess it was turned down. Was there, because that's what you were originally shooting for, was there a reason? I don't understand why they wouldn't want to take it in, because it's right there.
Let
let's-
the applicant
let's-
respond.
The applicant, address that, please.
Hi, I'm Eric Montgomery from Meritage Homes. Again, thank you for having us here tonight. It sort of baffled us that we weren't accepted into the Palm Valley Community Center Association as well. We, to our best efforts, we made multiple attempts, had meetings, did a lot of outreach to their community. Unfortunately, the bar was very high. We had to achieve a 75% approval vote of the people who did vote. I think we had 72.6, and we failed.
Yeah, the only reason why I ask, it just seems unusual being right there, really in Palm Valley, why it wouldn't be part of it, but I was just kind of curious on that. Thank you.
Sure.
Councilman Stipp?
Joe, I think might be helpful for Councilmember Pizzillo. Did you talk about the area to the north at Palm Valley and Litchfield as being phase 1 and this lower part being phase 2? Did I hear that or see that in a presentation?
Mayor Lord and Council Member Stipp, the phasing plan as submitted to date has the tan areas as being phase 1.
Oh, it's a little bit
And
of
the
both.
pink, so each phase will be partially constructed. However, components of each phase will be built to provide the secondary access and all the utility connections necessary.
Okay. On I think obviously my only concern from the very beginning of this whole project has been that access point down that quote-unquote private street out onto Litchfield. And there was indication that there's other parcels in that immediate area that we are waiting to be developed. Is there a way for us to incorporate a cost recovery component on the development of those parcels that we can recoup an additional, whatever the percentage is for that traffic light? I think while I understand we can say it's the apartment complex across the street and it's the businesses that currently exist there. We don't need a traffic light there. But as soon as we add 125 homes, we're going to need a traffic light. So this project is going to actually drive that traffic light. And I understand the funding issue, et cetera. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way. We didn't anticipate it when we built or allowed those properties to be built. The 2 restaurants and the bank and the Montessori school and now the 2 hotels. I don't want us to be in a position where a little bit farther down the road, now we're ready to develop these things and we have no mechanism to go back and get it. Is that possible? I don't know where that belongs, if it belongs in this agreement or in future agreements, for us to attach that to those properties.
Mayor Lord, Councilmember Stipp, we can do a cost recovery. There are certain parameters for operation of a cost recovery that's in our ordinance that governs those. And typically they're done and recapture, and the funds are recovered when property is built. There's a limited amount of property that has not been fully built at this point. We could put it in place and assign reimbursement values to properties that are built in the off chance that they redevelop at some point in time and generate an additional traffic demand. And that would be in place for 15 years. It's something we could entertain doing if so directed. Otherwise, we would probably put our focus mostly on the undeveloped properties.
Well, that's what I'm referring to as the undeveloped property. I don't want to go back and say to the current property owners, well, we're going to tag you for something else. And redevelopment, I don't think that's a likely, but I'm talking about the undeveloped areas that we can at least identify today that those are going to be subjected to the same cost, because they're going to benefit from this traffic light. There's no doubt about it. Right. And when they go in to build there, when they come in, they need to pay it's like, putting a sewer line in and then charge
Yeah,
it back for the
Madam
improvement
Mayor,
later.
members of the council, I think you can do that on a limited basis. It's probably not going to be through a cost recovery ordinance. It's probably going to be the demand generated at the time of zoning. So it's probably a fairly small percentage of this traffic signal because you still got to account for all the development that's already occurred. So I think a cost recovery runs into problems because you're going to have to assess that, the entire area that benefits from that signal. And so these new developments are going to account for a very small percentage of that. So I think you can probably look at it as zoning as through an exaction, but again, it's probably back to 16% or less is my guess.
I mean, we could do an analysis fairly easily to determine how much more we could potentially recapture from the undeveloped without, just initiating that process, if you would like us to do that analysis.
The sense that I'm getting is the cost of doing that analysis, even internally, maybe more than the actual recovery that we're going to get. So maybe it's not worth the effort. The last question that I have on this general subject is this private roadway that exists that we're now linking to. Are there any others that feed into major arterials generically that we know of in the city? So we're going to have to deal with this again. I think this is the only one.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any, Councilman Stipp.
Yeah, if we can just, if there is a way to simply identify if there are any others, and then we kind of get them on our radar, that we're not dealing with this again. I don't want to stop this development. I think the whole, I'm not, going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. This is a good project for us. It's just unfortunate we're kind of stuck in this situation. But thank you so much for entertaining all the questions and bringing your project forward. I appreciate it.
Okay, Councilman Osborne?
Actually, well, I think Brannon actually had it.
That's all right. I called Councilman Osborne.
Thank you. I appreciate it finally coming through. I'm sorry that you guys didn't get that vote. After we had our initial, what was that? Actually, on my birthday in August, I remember that when we saw you, and after I'd gone home, I kept thinking about that pocket park by the front gate, and the fact that it looks like that you've put some kind of buffer for me around that edging so that if there are balls or something, it would not directly go into that main street that goes. And so I appreciate it. It looks like that's what you've done, and I really do appreciate that you've gone back and listened. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Councilman Laura Rotano?
Oh, I've already spoke, I think.
All right, Councilman Hampton?
Yeah, I think it's a good development, and I think we already talked about it before. I mean, I like the added things that you brought to the community, and I think the residents be happy that it'll be living there. And then just a generic to Bill's topic. I think the only development I can think of that might be similar is the one off of Estrella and Van Buren, where those Fulton homes will be going in. Those might have some other examples of private road to development, but that's a generic. I mean, that'll be maybe something later on down the line we talk about.
Mayor, Lord, Councilmember Hampton, there is a cost recovery already built in for the Walmart signal, and I think there was one for the Fillmore.
Okay, yeah. Great, no, thank you.
Okay, all right, we're going to vote for this. So discussion is finished. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Welcome. Thank you.
Yep.
We are happy to have that development.
Yes.
We are. All right, the next item on business to consider, that's 7.4, adopting Resolution 17-1844 for an intergovernmental agreement for the Regional Metropolitan Phoenix Fire Service Automatic Aid System. Paul Louisi, Fire Chief, presenting. Paul?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you stated tonight, we're here to approve the intergovernmental agreement with the Regional Metropolitan Phoenix Fire Service Automatic Aid Agreement. So automatic aid has been in existence since 1976. The Goodyear Fire Department has been involved with the Metro Phoenix Automatic Aid Consortium since 1999. The original IGA was signed on December 6, 1999. As part of the consortium, the Goodyear Fire Department has a seat at the Life Safety Council, which develops and oversees the operational procedures for more than 26 cities and fire districts that provide emergency services to the Metro Phoenix area. This delivery of fire protection, special operations, and emergency medical services in the Valley is a model for intergovernmental cooperation, efficiency, and customer service. The auto aid system utilized in the Valley provides the community and customer service and the customer with a high level of service and high levels of effectiveness. The last auto aid agreement was approved by the City Council on September 22nd, 2014. On July 12, 2017, the fire department was notified by the City of Phoenix that there would be significant changes to the 2014 agreement, and the new IGA would need to be approved by this respective party. We had multiple meetings between city managers and legal staff to help modify the IGA that was presented. In summary, some of those changes including 120-day prior notice when a city or other parties to the agreement regarding any service area changes. They also called out staffing levels, which must be maintained at a 4-member staffing per engine and ladder in accordance with the National Fire Protection Association Staffing Standard number 1710. Service area changes that impact other jurisdictions' response areas as a whole may be subject to a vote by the Life Safety Council. And then also there would be 2 tier levels of voting, a tier 1 vote and then also tier 2 votes. Tier 2 votes would now be weighted votes. Tier 1 votes are non-weighted and 1 vote per participant. The initial term of the IGA is to begin, is to go until December 19th, 2022, and subject to automatic renewal for successive 5-year terms unless terminated earlier. Staff supports being part of the automatic aid agreement. The delivery of fire protection, special operations, and emergency medical services is seen as a good model of intergovernmental agreement. There are no associated costs with the Regional Metropolitan Fire Service Automatic Aid Agreement itself. However, there are associated dispatch and maintenance costs based on each city's total dispatches, which is charged in a different IGA on an annual basis. So staff would recommend the City Council approve the IGA for the Regional Metropolitan Fire Service Automatic Aid Agreement. That's my presentation. I'll stay for any questions.
Thank you. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right, then will the city clerk please read resolution number 17-1844 by title only, please?
Adopt resolution number 17-1844, approving the intergovernmental agreement, IGA, between the cities, towns, fire districts, and governmental jurisdictions to provide for automatic assistance for fires and other types of emergency incidents, and authorize the city manager or designee to execute any and all documents necessary for the administration of the IGA.
Thank you. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Loretano and a second by Councilman Pizzillo. Open for council discussion.
I have a question, please. May I ask a question?
Do you want to speak? You may speak, Vice.
Yes, okay. I was just trying to check with my council seatmates. I know we discussed this several weeks ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were good at that point.
Yes.
And then at our last meeting last Monday night, this was on our agenda again, but we did not talk about it. So I just want to make sure nothing has changed since the last time I saw this. It's what we talked about originally, right?
Yes, ma'am. It was not that I can recall on the agenda last week. If it was an oversight. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. It was listed in addition to the CON, but we just talked about the CON.
Okay.
So that's all. I just wanted to make sure it hadn't changed.
No, ma'am. There were no changes
Okay.
from the time we sat with you and talked specifically about this agreement.
Okay, and then my understanding is that signing the IGA, there's no cost to our city, where the cost is the amount of calls that we dispatch and that sort of thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
So that's a separate agreement.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. Someone had asked me, and I told them that's what I thought it was and that I would ask you tonight. So thank you so much, Chief.
Yes.
Councilmember Vazillo?
First, I want to thank you for all the efforts that went into this. This initially, when it was first started, was like far left, far right, trying to come somewhere in the middle to get agreement among all of the participants in this program. So I appreciate the effort because initially we had some concerns on the way it was originally structured. For those that happen to be watching this, that this has been a process ongoing. It just didn't happen a week or two ago. And there's been a lot of effort of staff into this to get it, to relieve some of the concerns that the city council had. So I appreciate all your efforts, and I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, and if I may
Yes,
add on
you
to
may.
that, Mayor, is just the appreciation for the hard work of the city managers in the city manager office, as well as the legal office for their assistance in this. It was a lot of time that was spent on this.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Well, I'd like to thank the city managers getting together on that, because the first introduction to this was not something that we liked. It just wasn't that workable. I see the weighted vote is still in there, but I guess that's going to always be. But all the other circumstances around it, as a fire chief, are you feeling comfortable?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know then. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Hampton?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, that ends that. Now, I'm going to just ask for information, and we're going to finish this up, and then we're going to go back into the work session, okay? And we'll give you a break if you need a break. I look, and you're all looking at me like, yes, yes, yes. So does the council have any comments or accommodations or reports or current events? I'm going to say, Wally, I think you ought to be talking about Shop with a Cop and the additional contribution that was received.
Oh,
So I think
forgot
that's
about that.
worthwhile news to get out. So if you do that, please.
Okay, our Shop with a Cop was Saturday morning, and we had a wonderful turnout of very excited children and wonderful police officers and their families that came to be with us. We had a wonderful breakfast, then we went to Walmart, and the kids went nuts. They loved it. We had a Santa Claus walking around with them as well. So it went very well. The Pebble Creek Home Tour was very successful this year and raised $10,200 for the Shop with a Cop. And because I'm so involved in the Fill a Need as well with the Goodyear Fire Department, I was able to secure a $4,000 donation to our city Fill a Need. And I was able to deliver the check to Chief Saturday, and I was very happy about that. But we had a great weekend. It's a great weekend for Goodyear, and we're going to be helping 50 families next weekend. And thank you to all of the city employees and the fire staff that are working so diligently, getting together and putting the Fill a Need ready to go. I just need to come up with 50 turkeys, and I'll know tomorrow if I get them.
We'll find those. Could do the people that were on the fire, can you, Councilman Hampton, and also Councilman Hampton and Councilman Loretano, can you just kind of tell what went on? Because I was so overly committed that day. I got in at the later in the morning, so I missed a great deal of it. But it was so, I thought, worthwhile and telling. So would you just add a little bit for the people?
I'll start. Both Councilmember Hampton and I got to play firefighter for a day with the Goodyear Firefighters Association. I can pretty much tell you the chief is not going to be hiring me at all anywhere near. My patients are either dead or they're burned up at this point, okay? We got to don full gear, mask, tank, and anyone who says this is easy and, well, these guys work 2 days on and they're all, no. I got home after we went into a flashover, trying to break down doors, the jaws of life. Stan home from the hospital really got into that, which was kind of scary. He's ripping off the roof. I got home. I was so tired, and I've always respected our public safety department, both police and fire, but when you get home and you're just like, I'm telling my daughter, just rub mommy's arm. Just please rub mommy's arm. Mommy's tired. It just shows you how hard of a job that is. One of the things I really thought was the most interesting wasn't the physical part. What actually was physical was the CPR.
I would love it if we could have like a mini demonstration here of that CPR. Because it's
a
different
new
from how I learned
process,
it in
yeah.
the 90s, you know? But I'd let you add on. Now, he did fine because he's a warrior person. over there.
No, definitely, it was definitely a great opportunity. Yeah, definitely a lot of respect and admiration for what our fire professionals do out there. Yeah, like she was saying, we got to experience how fire reacts at the flashover room and put out a car fire and bust down a door with a sledgehammer, which is pretty fun. And yeah, go rescue a dummy. And yeah, it was a really good opportunity. Put the oxygen tanks on and crawl around and work. So definitely a lot of good experiences. So yeah, thank you for our fire department.
And I think after the demonstration, after you went through that, they said, well, you know, they could be out on one incident and do all the things you did, and then as soon as they get back, the bell's rung again, and they're back out again. Yeah. So there's not always that rest in between. Mm-hmm. So, and I thought the care they have as far as when somebody is hurt and they're like the CPR, I'm not very technical, but it is so much better than before. They're able to determine so many things about a patient and what's wrong, not just the heartbeat. So they're almost like PAs, except of course they can't dispense medication, and they can in the ambulance, but they can't. Yeah, they can't give you a prescription. But it is just amazing. And I've been on council since 2005. I've observed some things, but I've never gone through that and watched it. Oh, you have to do it. It's just amazing. And
they shot footage that we could maybe upload?
Well, they did shoot it. I think they're going to be using a presentation, so I think we'll get it here at the council meeting. So it was pretty fantastic. That's what I was told by Steve.
A great training facility as well. So it was really
wow. Councilmember Stiff, you want to talk?
Yeah, I actually did.
I know you were
I
actually the
did a
person that's
couple.
been a fireman, but
No, I'm not. Those are. I obviously didn't go because we taught one of these back in '08, I think.
Is in that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, not to mention all the years, and no one has said anything that isn't true. Speaking from someone who's done it, so I think that was important. I have actually been busy the last couple of weeks. We had a Valley Metro Board meeting last week. I sent back to the staff, I thought it might have been included in this week's report, but an update from them on the federal legislative front about what's happening with transportation should be coming your way. It was a good update from our federal lobbyists from Valley Metro on what's happening transportation-wise, so please be on the lookout for that. And then in addition, the pension boards have been meeting this month to review the bylaws and updates, making some changes which are good to do every few years. We'll be meeting again in January to finalize that through a combined meeting. Good news for the mayor is we will have a vice chair, so you won't have to worry about actually running the meeting.
thank you. It's greatly appreciated.
Just somebody has to be there, but other than that.
That I don't have a busy schedule. That's great. Thank you.
But it'll take the pressure off. We'll have someone who's familiar with the procedures and where we're at, so it won't be too cumbersome. But we've been busy, so I just want to report on that.
Okay.
And thank you to everybody. Kind of a personal note. Got wonderful flowers and great cards last week, and we got stuff from the mayor's, the staff of the mayor and council office. We had some great flowers, and we had a great service last week, so thank you.
Good. Yes.
So,
Councilor Hampton.
Thank you. So I took off Friday and I went to the Government 101 meeting with the league. The league puts on. So that was a really good opportunity to go through, learn a little bit more, and reaffirm some of the things I've been learning with City Council. Good experience, and also met some new council members from across the state that were just elected as well. Our neighbors in Avondale, El Mirage, and a 20-year-old elected official from Prescott. So it's pretty interesting.
Well, I'm impressed that you continue to educate yourself. whenever there's an opportunity. And when you're new on the council, there's so much to learn, and experience helps you learn more. And so you've got a lot of experience ahead of you to witness. But I appreciate those classes or anything that you do, because I'm told and where you are off and on, and I greatly admire that. So thank you. Okay, so anything? Oh, Councilman Osborne.
Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know that the final classroom of the Citywide Reading Challenge received their award, and I really want to thank Elevate Trampoline for giving VIP passes to the winning 6th, 7th, and 8th grade classes. That was really special. So they had their pizza, they got recognized, they got their plaque, and then they, no, I did not jump with them, and that's a good workout though. And they got their VIP passes. Just as an update though, also we had our AMWA meeting, and wanted to let you know that this month, actually I understand that there is the audit that was going on over CAWCD, that the draft of the audit is coming out and should be within next month. I would imagine we'd start seeing something about it. And also, they are in conversations for their rate increases, and so that's also going on. And just to update you guys.
Okay, well, I'm sure that we'll be getting that update, I hope. Well, I know we will. So any other? Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to the city manager. Does the city manager have anything to report?
Mayor, no, nothing to report. A couple of follow-up items. One was that we will post the GPEC presentation on our website.
Great.
And council, if you'd like hard copies, we certainly can provide those. I'm seeing head nods, so we'll put that in your in baskets. And then the other, it was just a general question. What is our current standard for the distance between traffic signals? And we'll provide that in the manager's weekly report as well. And that's all I have for follow-up tonight.
Council, do you have any inquiries of staff? All right, do you have any future agenda items? No? Okay, well, that's great. The next meeting will be a special meeting on December 16th, 2017 at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to adjourn this meeting, and I'm going to give you a break to do whatever you have to do for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back to finish the work session, all right? This meeting, we're going to stay up here. This meeting is adjourned.